I'll call the meeting in order at 7 o'clock. I'll ask Bruce to take the attendance, please.
All right. Commissioner Stachin,
Here.
Commissioner Simons, Commissioner Berlandi,
Here.
Commissioner Fox,
Here.
Commissioner Eisner,
Here.
Commissioner Kelsey. I know he's there. He's having.
Are you looking for me, Bruce?
Yep, you're there. And then
Yeah, my speakers were muted, so I couldn't
Nope,
hear anything.
that's fine. Commissioner Simpson.
Here.
All right. It's all yours, Chair.
Okay, so the first thing on the agenda is our public hearing. So I'll ask the applicant to summarize what he's planning to do and
Yeah, hold on. Chair, if you don't mind, the secretary has to read in the actual
okay.
notes.
You're right.
Okay. Commissioner Fox, are you there?
Yep.
Hey,
I just had to unmute myself.
Nope. Do you want me to zoom this in more or what?
Nope, I got it.
You got it? Good.
Notice is hereby given that the Inland Wetlands Commission will hold an online public hearing on Wednesday, March 6th, 2024 at 7 p.m. via an online web conference on the following application. Peter Petrozzi application for regulated activity within wetlands for removal of existing stone culvert to replace with 120 feet of 42-inch HDPE pipe at 1637 Farmington Avenue. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this online public hearing. The link to this meeting may be found on the Town of Farmington's website. A copy of this proposal is online at the website as well. Please call the Planning Department at Farmington Town Hall at 860-675-2325. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 15th day of February, 2024. Inland Wetlands Commission, Robert Eisner, acting chairman. Oh, not acting anymore, I guess.
No, I don't understand. When it was written, it was acting. Okay.
Commissioner,
Thank you.
Or chair, if you don't mind me, hold on one second. We just had Commissioner Simons come in. He's the brand new.
Okay.
He's the brand new member.
Yeah, we could pause.
Hello, sorry about that. I was trying to join and it took me a minute.
No problem. Welcome.
That's Scott. I'm gonna throw him on mute. There we go.
Okay.
All right, Chair. We're all set.
So now I will ask the applicant to summarize and explain his application.
Okay, so I had this sinkhole called the town up, and we determined that it could be Band-Aid, just fixing one side of it, just do irrigation work and drainage work, I should say. But then upon checking out the culvert, which was built in 1934, it's got like block walls and a concrete canopy and is very compromised. And I don't have the wherewithal to do this every year, 2 years, different sections. So I personally investigated HDPE ADS double-walled pipe. All three of my estimates use that 42-inch pipe. It's 32-inch diameter existing in kind, and I went up 10 inches. I was going to go with 36-inch, but I even went up 6 inches more, and it's going to be 120. I'd say, I won't say plus or minus. It could be minus a little if we do the slope in the front a little shorter. But I've been in direct contact with ADS Tech Department. This is definitely going to be installed because I'm going to be the daily inspector, and I'm spending significant money, as all you know. And I want to do it right. It's take out the old, put in the new. We're gonna do whatever the town requires, in terms of when we can install this. I told Bruce, he is gonna kind of, tell us when we can do this work, and could be this summer, I don't know, but I'm willing to work when, the weather cooperates. And this pipe is so strong that if you only have 12-inch cover, it holds 48,000 pounds. We're gonna have more than 12-inch cover. It's gonna be kind of an overkill, but ADS pipe, who all the contractors quoted on, I called them up. This pipe will last at least 400 years. It's high density plastic, double walled. And I just want to do it right. If I Band-Aid it, I'm going to be back with you guys. Who knows? It could be this summer, the rain and everything. It's very compromised. So this is the only solution. It's out of my expenses, but you know, if I Band-Aid it, I may never be able to sell my house. So I made decisions. I'm not, I'm doing best practices, best pipe, and being a good neighbor. And again, I just want to refer back to when the house was built in 1934, the town did not keep records. 14 years until 1948. The deeds that I saw did say something about deeding over to water. The state said that's the river, but it doesn't say that in the deed. And when you think back, I took a look at the census. There were under 4,000 people in Farmington when the culvert was built. And I spoke to somebody up the street that has a really old house in town. They said there were only a few houses back. I don't even know if it was a paved road. So since then, when you think about it, all the condos across the road, all the people in the Highlands, and then that other street up Walnut, including the state of Connecticut, which from Walnut Street to my brook have been dumping water. This isn't my water. I'm still a little uneasy that there isn't an easement or anything that was done in my behalf. And again, I think what I proposed is like you couldn't do better, in my opinion. And it's very costly. It's breaking the bank. It's breaking me and my wife. But I think that I have this well thought out, and I'm very confident in the contractor and what we're replacing, that is going to last a long, long time. So that's basically what I have to say.
Okay, is your contractor available tonight if there's any questions?
I don't know if he told me he may not be able to make it.
Okay,
So, but I could probably answer some of those questions if you want to try me, because Bruce was involved with conversations with him as well. The two of us might be able to step in. Ned?
no, I'm just not, you know, I don't know what questions are going to come up. I just was wondering if he was there, but it's fine. He doesn't have to be there. Okay, well, we'll start with questions from the commission. I think we'll start with Dave Fox.
I just had one question. I think I raised it previously too. Trying to reduce the 120-foot length of new culvert, which is an additional 50 feet from what's existing. Did you give any further thought to that?
Yeah, I think we could shorten it on one side, but the contractors who quoted it, including Bruce, like the idea of extending it a little and sloping it down. In addition, besides the culvert, I'm having an added expense that I'm including with Bruce, help me out. I forgot what those entry and exit things are.
Flared end?
Flared ends. Yeah, I'm doing flared ends on both ends. And the reason it extends a little more than the existing is because it's going to be the slope of the from grade of ground. It's going to be flared out with proper compaction. And it's going to actually improve the water flow with the flared ends and pre-existing conditions. I can shorten it up on the backside that approaches the river. That's my intent. So it could be 100 feet, could be 90. I think we wanted to err on the safe side with 120 feet. The pipe comes in 20-foot sections that can be cut. But, you know, we try to err on the safe side with the design, and we're hoping it can be shortened. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I'd recommend you shorten it as much as you can.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
want to do.
realize you don't want to spend more money on another head wall.
Yeah,
And so
no,
you wanna
exactly.
You do want to do it with grading, but whatever you can
Yeah.
do to shorten the length, because every additional foot is more impact to the water course.
Yeah, and that's my intention to do that. I have some lawn area that would make it easy to shorten on the outlet that approaches the river. So yes, I'm gonna do what I can to shorten this.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, David.
Okay, Robert Eisner?
Thank you. I'll sort of dovetail on Dave's comment. I think shortening the pipe on the lower side would make sense. I think on the high side where the water's coming in, because it was such a steep drop off next to the driveway, there's probably a safety issue there also. So I think extending it on that side and sloping the grade makes some sense. But if you have the ability to shorten the outflow side
Yes,
by a 20-foot length, that would be good.
that's my
Um,
intention.
Thank you. And then Bruce, I just want to double check. I know that I've asked this of you before, but the calculations were all reviewed. The hydraulic calculations are all reviewed by the town staff, and you agree that the sizing of the pipe works, correct?
We did not review, there was no hydraulic calculations. This is a size for size pipe. Okay, this was a pipe. I think it was, correct if I'm wrong, it was a 36-inch square.
32, 32 inch.
32-inch square box culvert, and they're going to be increasing it up to a 42-inch circular pipe. So the calculation is just about there. So
Okay,
for
but
volume,
to
not
the,
for
but the
hydraulic.
town staff is comfortable with the size because it's a large expense.
Yep.
By Mr. Petrossi, I just want to make sure that after expending all that money, it's not gonna have a problem with being undersized.
Exactly.
Um, I just want to comment on that. So I've lived in the house 7 years, and the existing conditions, the banks have never, ever come close to getting high enough to the lawn. It's a 2-inch deep brook, and where it backs up is at the mouth of the river. And when the river's real high, it's just, you gotta wait till it recedes more or less. I do get some flooding in the real southerly part, but it recedes. I spoke to the second owner of the house. She was 90. She lived there 50 years. She never had a problem with water really flooding in the river coming up that high. I think a lot of the water when the river gets high dissipates into near the golf course there in Meadow Road. So I think that there's some existing flats or flatlands that help disperse water, and it moves pretty quick. So when you get to Wooden Tap, it's rapid, it's fast moving, it goes down the hill. So it's we've been fortunate, but I have enough history from the previous owner. Um, there's never been water in the basement, never came over the banks of the brook. Matter of fact, I looked at the brook, it's really low. Like right now, it's maybe 2 or 3 inches. It's a shallow brook.
I appreciate that perspective, Mr. Petrossi. I just want to make sure with the town staff, because they have a pretty good understanding of the drainage throughout the town since they're doing all the maintenance and as
Mhm.
long as there was confidence, and it sounds like there is with the town staff. And then the last comment that I have is, given the proximity to the Farmington
Oh, we lost him again. We lost him again.
We'll give him a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, he usually has to come out and then
All
he
right,
comes back in.
well, let's go to Neil Kelsey, and then if he comes back on, he could answer his last question or ask his last question. Neil?
Yeah. Thanks for walking us through this again, Peter, and thanks for all the, the time you spent with us over the last couple months, site walk, and all the information you've provided. I don't have any additional questions or comments at this time. I just recommend that you continue to work with the town, and if you can shorten it, and I appreciate the fact that you're looking for a good outcome, and appreciate your patience as we work through our process. Nothing
Thank you.
further.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark Simpson?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I would say to Peter, I'm sorry he's in this predicament, but I appreciate the effort he's put into this to make it right, and wish him luck. That's all.
No, thank you, Mark. I can tell you, thank you. I won't let you guys down. I'm doing this right, and it's gonna go away when I'm done. I want to get my life back. I want to get a normal, like even after COVID, a new normal, and just move on. But I'm very confident. I don't have any like reservations on height, size, anything, execution, working with the town, doing it when they want us to. So I'm just anxious to get this done and get it done right. And, I mean that very sincerely.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. It's a quite a job, and it's unfortunate that it happens unexpectedly when it happens unexpectedly like this.
Mhm.
All right, Rich Berlandy, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Everybody's covered anything I had. Thank you.
Okay. Andre Simons, am I saying that right?
Yes. I actually watched the last couple of meetings, so I am a little bit up to speed on this issue, and I don't have any further questions. I do think maybe shortening it, since you did mention that the water level is already pretty low, maybe shortening the length a little bit, but otherwise, good luck.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna speak to the contract. I'm sorry you couldn't make it, but I am thinking of going to 100. But again, I'm gonna be in close contact with Bruce and coordinated effort on everything, timing, when, and I'm gonna take detailed pictures every day. I mean, I'm fortunate that I'm home, and I mean, I'm gonna be the inspector. I gotta tell you too, the tech department at ADS Pipe has been phenomenal. Like what I'm going through, they're giving me all their resources, and so I mean, I've really dug into the weeds and gotten as much help doing things right, and I'm very confident. It's just that the money is, it's just the killer. But I got to move on, and that's it. I just got to move on, get it done, and get my life.
Okay, I don't really have any significant questions. I just wanted to make sure the elevation of the driveway is going to stay the same. You're not raising it up or bringing it down or
No.
anything?
Everything's going to stay the same.
Okay,
And we're probably going to have a lot more 12-inch compaction. That kind of makes me feel good because it makes the strength of this pipe even that much more.
yeah,
It's going to be able to hold a lot. It's pretty amazing pipe. When I researched this, they didn't start making culvert pipe till 1987. So what they installed back in the day was probably an engineering marvel, but it's leaking throughout it. The whole thing really needs it, or we're going to be back here every year, and we don't
well,
want to.
it's a strong pipe, and I think you've done a lot of work trying to get this together, and I know it's always tough when things happen unexpectedly. I think you're wise when we were out there and I looked at the condition of that stone retaining wall at the inlet. that made me nervous. So I think it's smart to just slope down and get rid of the wall altogether, so you won't have to worry
Yep.
about it in the future. I know I raised some questions about the size of the pipe. And that's just standard practice, is that when you have a pipe upstream, you don't go lower than that pipe, but it's not absolutely necessary. And then looking at the property again, I think if by any chance it does back up, it's got a straight shot coming out of the pipe under Route 4, just to go back into to the Farmington River. So I'm not too concerned about that. And like you say, there's a long history of it not overtopping the driveway or getting backed up too high. So
Nowhere near
I'm
it, yeah.
comfortable with that. So I think we have a good understanding of this. Are there any other questions of the commission?
Commissioner
Okay.
Eisner's back. Commissioner Eisner's back on. I don't know if he wants to finish
Oh.
his last statement,
Commissioner Eisner, do you have any other final say?
or did we lose him again? He was just on. Oh, he's there. There we go. And maybe we lost him again. All right.
I see his name on the box.
Yeah, but nothing's
Nothing's getting through.
So, okay.
Okay. Well, he had a chance to operate. I think we'll ask for if there's any comments from the public. Can we tell if anybody?
I only have one person on. I'm not sure if they want to speak though.
All right.
I'm not sure who they are.
So I'll
If
call-
anyone
is
would
there-
like to speak, just press the raise your hand function on Zoom. If anyone would like to speak on this application, please raise your hand with the link on Zoom. I think that's it, Chair.
Okay. All right, seeing no one from the public wishing to question or comment on the project. And Robert, did you have any other comments? I know you got cut off a little bit.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so I'll take the chair will entertain a motion for the application.
Chairman, I'll move approval of the Petrossi application at 1637 Farmington Avenue with the condition that the length be reduced to 100 feet on the outflow side, that the applicant work in coordination and at the direction of town staff as necessary, including for soil and erosion control, installation and maintenance.
Let me just, I mean, I know he was going to try to minimize or the length of the pipe, but was it certain that he could do a 20 feet less, or should we make it, ask the town staff to work to minimize the length of the pipe? And
Yes, I'll insert the clause if feasible.
all right, okay, that's fine. And the town staff can help him whatever he can do to help minimize the length of the pipe. Okay,
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
all right. Is there a second?
This is Mark. I'll second that.
Okay. Bruce, do you have everything you need for that motion?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay. All right, so motion's been made to pass the application with the stipulation of trying to minimize the length. All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed?
Aye.
Is there one opposed? No one opposed. Passes. Thank you. Good luck, Peter.
All right, thank you all. I'm a town resident, if you're looking for volunteers, I might consider it. I'd rather be on the other side, to be honest. But I'm serious about that. I learned a lot here. I've got a pretty good construction background, but you all, my wife thanks you. And hopefully by the end of whenever working in a coordinated effort with Bruce, we can get back to a normal life.
Well, good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, next item on the agenda is 70 Wood Pond Road.
All right,
Guess
she has
they're not quite ready.
contacted me. She's contacted me. They're not done with working on the revised plans. So so at this time, she asked that this be
How do you shut this?
Tabled.
Oh, leave.
who's that? Peter?
Peter. He needs
Yes.
to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet them. Give me 1 second, guys. I think anybody
Yeah,
else?
he-
That's it.
oh,
Okay.
he still needs.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so she asked to table this until the next meeting. So I'll as soon as I get something from them, I will forward it over to you, Chair. And the commission.
Okay. We don't need to do an official table, right? Or vote
Nope.
to table, right? No.
Nope,
Okay.
nope, just making that update.
All right. We'll have that table till the next meeting, and the next meeting is the last meeting they can table it to until they, without a written request for extension.
Exactly, Chair.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is Town of Farmington, 148 Brickyard Road. Who's presenting for that?
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm trying to find out who's got the background.
It's Scott.
Scott,
How
do
many people are in the room with you?
you have other people in the room with you?
Just Brian, but I'll mute myself, sorry.
No,
No,
just I
you're
didn't.
up.
I don't know if maybe somebody
Maybe
has it on
somebody
the phone
else.
as well, but there's like a delayed audio and it's really backing up. So okay. All right, that's that. And now we have the Winding Trails application. I delete
Oh,
that.
yes, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun
Yep.
there.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Two
fine.
winding trails.
Right. All right, Scott, you're on. If I can get this
Oh.
passed here.
All right, so you've got Scott Brown, the executive director, and Brian Cunningham with you tonight, and I'm not sure, everything we presented to you 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure what else you need to be added for this evening. I do know, and I think you've been informed that I spoke with Bruce yesterday over concern with the rains that we're getting tonight and in through the weekend, and got permission to put some riprap in those two worst sections, which we did this morning, and I sent him photos of that. There they are, yes.
So this is what it looked like this is what it looked like before. This was yesterday, and then this is this morning, and then the next one's further down. Right there, and then this is the fix from this morning. So they just did this just to armor that up so we don't lose that bank anymore. So
Yeah, I think that's reasonable and it's necessary.
yeah, they're calling for some pretty heavy rain tonight.
Right.
So
Okay.
I didn't
Go
know
ahead,
if you,
Scott.
I'm sorry, I just didn't know if you need Brian and I to revisit and explain what our remediation was, or do you have enough information from our last meeting?
Why don't you give a quick summary again and just for the record?
Sure.
Okay, Brian,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hi, this is Brian Cunningham from Town of Farmington. What we are proposing to do was to armor two areas of erosion, as we just alluded, 30-foot long section and about a 70-foot long section. So we did that, and then the remaining work we'd like to do is some planting, more on the to stabilize the bank some more. And I don't have the list of the plants, but we were talking last meeting, we had a few were discussed.
Where are you planting? You planting on this side or the other side? grass?
We do a little on both, more of the white clover on the roadside and like a pussy willow on the far side to try to take over all the growth, the overgrowth that you see on the left side of that photo.
Oh, here you mean? Yep.
Because what we asked to be able to do is to remove that plant growth, the fine stemmed plant growth that you see. It's a pricker, almost an invasive species of some sort in there, and we just want to clear that out. I think at the last meeting, I said it was like 6 to 8 feet, and I think I was being generous in that. I think it's actually less. It's about a 2 to 4 foot. But I'd just rather keep it as discussed previously at this 6 to 8 feet. Just to remove the material, cut it at the ground level. Remove the material, we'll load it into a dumpster and have it hauled off site. We're not, just to reiterate, we're not gonna be excavating on the other side of the channel. It's solely just to cut down to ground level. We're not removing the roots. So we'll maintain the stability of the embankment on that side. But what we gain is more capacity in the ditch itself, Poplar Swamp Brook along the side of the road. We had evidence this past winter where that overgrowth captured a bunch of leaves that were flowing down the stream and effectively narrowed the capacity or reduce the capacity of the brook. And we want to regain that so that we don't run the risk of losing part of the road or eroding the slopes on the side of the brook.
Okay. Yeah, my experience is that, vegetation encroachment can do a lot to push river or stream over. And so I think that's necessary that you address both sides and to get that cleared out, so that, the water flows more freely along both embankments, because it really can, because you get things stuck in the branches and then you get another plant starts to grow and then it just keeps encroaching more and more into the stream. So I think that's a wise action.
Thank you.
Okay, questions from the commissioners? Robert Eisner, we'll get you now while you're still connected.
Thanks, and sorry about the internet connection here. Comcast assures me there's no problems in my neighborhood, but I disagree. I don't have any concern. I don't have any concern with the application, but I did think it was necessary to have the application because this is a regulated activity, not exempt, as we talked about last week. And I agree with the chairman that keeping both sides clear of vegetation will help the flow overall. So no questions at this point. Thank you.
Okay, Neil Kelsey. Is he frozen? Neil? Oh, he looks like he might be frozen. Okay, Mark Simpson.
I have no
Right, no,
questions.
Oh,
Oh.
well, cutting in and out.
If you didn't hear me, this is Mark. I have no questions.
Okay. Neil, did you hear us?
No, I think he's got some.
No, I think he's
Pop back
okay.
in.
Rich Berlandy.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay, Dave Fox.
No questions, but I'm glad you were able to get the riprap in there at the nick of time.
Yeah. Okay, Andre Simons.
I have no questions. I'm just, as a comment, I'm glad that you're going to be planting some other plants to replace that growth so that when those roots do kind of die off, there's something to keep holding that area. So I'm happy there's some stewardship going on there. So that's it.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we don't have Neil, huh?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, all right.
Okay. I'm going to switch to another device, but no, I don't have any further comments or questions. I'm glad you're doing this.
Okay.
Work.
All right. I think I kind of covered my common questions. So, Chair will entertain a motion for the application at Winding Trail, 50 Winding Trails.
I move to approve the application by Winding Trails Inc. for 50 Winding Trails, with the condition that they work with town staff during the duration of the project.
I'll
Thank you.
second that, if you can hear me.
Okay, and we have a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now we have the town application,
Yes, sir.
148 Brickyard Road.
All right. If everyone's familiar with the area, I'm gonna be doing the presentation, so it's a quick one. Brickyard Road, here's the Farmington Ready Mix property. Here's Farmington Motorsports. We had a problem with a swale back here. So we went out there and we looked, and this outlet pipe is buried underwater. And that's what you'll see in the photos here. Get some photo. If I can get it in here. It's new Adobe. I do not like. Oh, you know why? Because you guys are blocking me. Slide you over there. So there's the pipe right there underwater, as you can see. Okay. The main problem is that come down here. This swale, as you can see, is pretty plugged up with a lot of debris. Okay, there's a lot of trees, and it's not flowing. So what our highway department has asked for me to do is, what they'd like to do is come into here. Here's the outlet pipe here. So they want to come in, and the outlet goes down, and or sorry, the outlet's here, the swale comes down around and then banks south. So they pretty much want to clean approximately around up to this bend here, just to get this water flowing again, so this pipe is no longer underwater. It probably hasn't been maintained since the pipe was installed, like in the early 80s. So now's the time to get in there and get some work done and clean it out. So they'll open it up, and then they'll put some new riprap down at the outlet to make a better scour pad, and then hopefully it'll all flow from there.
Okay. And when we're doing this work, is it light equipment or?
Yeah, they already went in here. Guys, who's that?
Emerald.
Oh, he's the contractor for Petrozzi.
Yeah.
So we're all done. Is he there?
Yeah, I just muted him.
Hey, hold on, let me just unmute him. 1 second, I'll tell him that. Emerald, the application is all done. It was approved. So if you want to call Peter, you can go that route. Okay? So they went through here and they manually did a little bit of hand clearing at this outlet to see if they can get anything to work. So since it wasn't going to go, they're going to have to come up here with a machine, and they're able to work. I apologize for bouncing around. This new Adobe is not good. But right over here, there's a nice berm, a planted berm of lawn. They'll be able to roll down there with a rubber tire backhoe and just reach in there and just pull the material out, put it in a truck and then haul it off. So there won't be any working in the stream other than the bucket. So
Okay. The last photo
Mhm.
shows almost like a dam or something. But with like trees growing right out of the stream, or I don't know. That could be
this one here, yeah,
invasive.
there's a lot. As I said, this the swale runs right along here, so it comes out here, takes a hook left, and runs right down through here. So there is some trees in there. Like here, you'll see some old wood in there that really needs to be cleared out. So this is all in that area they're gonna try to keep as, they're trying to do as minimal disturbance as possible. The only the only water taking is from the street. There's no nearby wetlands draining into this or anything. It's
Okay.
mostly it's mostly just a stormwater flow.
And if there's like in some of the pictures, live trees growing right in the middle of the stream, we'll cut them out, but they're not going to try and remove the whole root bale or anything like that, will they?
The only thing they may have to do is on that curve, as you can see, that pipe is probably 2 feet below grade.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So they're gonna work their way down until they can get up to a point where that is flowing. After it's flowing, they're gonna stop. They're not looking to clear out this entire swale. We looked at it and then hopefully we can just keep that all to that smaller area.
Okay. All right, so I don't know. It seems to me that especially since this is mostly just roadway runoff water, that this is regulated activity, that just maintenance and cleaning of the waterway for proper drainage. But let's see what the commission has to say. We'll start with Rich Berlandy.
Well, I don't have any questions. It looks like it's pretty much just maintenance work.
Okay. Dave Fox.
I agree with that.
Okay. Robert Eisner.
I agree. It's necessary maintenance, but it's a regulated activity.
Okay. Neil Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Mark Simpson.
I agree. It's maintenance.
Okay. Andre Simmons.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Is it Simons or Simmons?
Simons.
Simons. Okay. Yeah, 1M. Okay. All right. And I agree that this is regular activity and just necessary maintenance. Do you Bruce, do you want a motion for that or?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
It's
Terrence
full
made a
application.
motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you, Andre. And a second?
Second, Mark.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah, is that no? Well, except yeah, there's so exactly. So sorry, I apologize. Yes, to accept it, to accept the application. I apologize. To accept the application. That's right. Next one, cease and desist for 1509 Farmington Avenue. Spoke with the town attorney. There was nothing to really present, so I said it could wait for the meeting. He suggested what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send one more letter to update all the fines. Okay, let me just do this. And Commissioner Simon's just gotta bring you on board. We had an application across from the town hall. And in that you'll see some links in your agendas I sent you. But down here, he did some work. He demoed an old house down here, and then he put some fill in the river actually. So we did a cease and desist. We've been finding him ever since. I'm going to send him one more letter. I want to say the fines. The last one I sent him brought it up to January 1st. So I'm going to take it from January 1st to now, and then we'll give him the 10 days to pay the fine. If not, then we have to go through our hearing officer here in town. So we'll set up a hearing, set that up, and based on the outcome of that, if the hearing officer agrees with us, then the fines will stick, and then we'll ask for payment. If he doesn't pay it, then the town attorney says we'll take him to court. He says it's more like an injunction kind of thing where we'll press the court to try to make the order to actually have the work done. Unfortunately, it may come to a point if the town may have to do the work and then actually lien the property, but that's something that we'll talk with down the road as we go. Okay? Any questions from anybody?
And there has not been any contact with him?
Nope. I've asked him, he gets the agenda every, every meeting. I send him emails with the agenda review, asking for him to contact me to discuss. Feel free to talk at the meetings, and I'm not getting anything. So
Any signs that he's even on the property or doing
No.
anything over there? You know, cars
no,
moving or
no. The last time I was down there, there still was nothing down
okay.
there. So I think with all the snow, the cold, it kind of stopped all all work.
Okay.
Bruce,
I
this
remember-
is Rich. Is the equipment still there?
Yes, the equipment is still there.
I remember I don't remember what was broken, but something was broken on one of his pieces of equipment.
Yeah,
It was
the
bucket.
track.
The
track.
bucket
Yeah,
and the
that's right,
track
it
on
was
one
the
of them.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found an interesting photo, and I'll put it in the folder. But from the flood, I call it the flood, but the storm of 2011, I think it was. We were taking pictures of the flooding along the river, and there's a nice picture of the house, a partial picture of the house, which was interesting. So I'll put that in there. You guys can see what it looked like back then, before all the work was done on the property. So we'll update the fines and we'll take it from there. The process is going to be a little longer because once I issue the fines, he's got 10 days. Then we have to send another letter demanding payment, and then we have to set up a hearing. So the hearing officer depends on what kind of hearings they have going already. The hearing officers deal with the police department, handicap parking, all kinds of things. Anything else that violates the town ordinance. Yeah, I didn't see that. Commissioner Reisner has his hand raised.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's not necessary, but I think it would be good to make a motion and have a vote that helps protect the town staff, because sometimes municipal agents will sort of get a counter suit from a violator that they're being singled out, or that there's some sort of vendetta by the staff agent. So I just want to make a motion, if you're entertain it, to make sure that it's clear that the town staff is acting at the direction of the commission. So if that's acceptable, I'll make a motion that our staff agent continue to pursue enforcement as necessary to cause the correction of the violations at the subject property, including additional fines and hearing to seek collection.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I agree. That's good.
So that was my motion.
All right, so the motion's been made to, well, we have,
For
to
continued
summarize
enforcement.
that Bruce and town staff are acting on behest of the commission, and that following our instructions. And is there a second for that?
April 2nd.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? What's the word when you choose not to vote?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Abstain. There you
Abstain.
go.
Hmm.
Anybody abstain? Okay. Well, the motion passes.
All right.
Thank you for your work, Bruce.
Now we'll keep chugging away. Thank you. That's why we get up every morning, right?
Yeah.
Is that why? All right.
You might want to check in West Hartford and see if any of the fill that he put in is in their town yet.
Oh God.
That river's been running pretty hot.
Yeah.
Probably need to check
I
Long
showed you the
Island
last
Sound.
picture I showed you. I think I sent you guys a picture it was in the folder. You'll see like some of the fill's gone. The concrete's still there. That piece of the retaining wall or whatever is gone. But all right, here we go. Just giving you guys a quick update. We had a pretty large accident, or not accident, but a fairly large problem on Talca Notch, right over. So coming up Mountain Spring and turning left to go west or north, whatever you want to call it, on Talca Notch. So right in this area here near, right, oh, sorry, right here, over by the bend where the power lines come up. We were out there doing some maintenance, and one of the guys looked over the embankment and said, uh-oh, we got a problem. So we lost the entire embankment last week. And what we think must have happened is with all those rains that we had from the fall and stuff, that this pipe must have been surged and it blew out. And once it blew out, it just took the whole slope with it. It took a whole retaining wall, or an end wall, threw it down the hill. So
Wow.
it's really bad right now. They had to do an emergency fill. They brought in some fill quickly because the road is right up here, and they were thought they had actually, if you're on the Everbridge, that's why Telka Notch was closed. They thought they were going to lose the end of the road. That's how bad it was. So they filled this in, and they put some plastic tarps over the entire embankment to keep the rain off of it. So it is working. They're going to try to get in there next week when it's dry to get this done. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up there. As you can tell, there was no time for an application to hold them up. I said, look, guys, you gotta save the road, so get it in. So they put the road in, or they got the backfilled, and they're waiting to do it next week. All
So
right.
they're gonna,
And Bruce, what's downstream or what's downslope from?
What happens is, go back to the map. This comes out here, flows down into this little tributary here, and then flows down through the MDC right away. Crosses over Glen Eagles, comes down, goes underneath Waterville Road, and goes into the Farmington River. So this handles mostly runoff off the mountain. So there's some spotty, we have little drains. I think there's this outlet. We have an outlet over here. Down a little, that doesn't show on here, but it's a down here. Oh, sorry. This one here, there's an outlet here, and then that's the outlet there. So that outlet's picking up this water. Boy, it really goes back further. So it's taking all of this water here and all the water off the mountain and pushing it out this pipe. So it happened, like I said, it must have happened, let's say 6 months ago. So whatever was there is gone. There was no saving it, pulling it back, cleaning it out, and we were out there. It's like, no, there's nothing to do. So it's not like we can go down there and clean it up. That thing went, and just with all that heavy rains and those 6-inch intensity storms, it just flushed everything out. So unfortunately, all we
Thanks,
have.
Bruce. It's a good thing the town caught it when you did.
Yeah, we would have lost the road, or so someone would have hit that guide rail and would have just lost everything.
Yeah.
So
I noticed in one of the photos, there was a utility pole very close to the washed out area. Has the utility's been notified or?
no, it's farther than you think. I want to say it's about,
Yeah?
it's
Okay.
probably about 50 feet or so. So
All right.
you can say, I think you can see it here too. When you look at the plan, here's the outlet. And the outlet is over there. It does look close here, but it's not as close as it looks. It's further
Okay.
down. Because that was one of our concerns too, when we got out there, no, it's not a problem.
Okay.
All right.
And has anybody checked the crossings downstream?
No, this was an emergency to take this. That was
Alright.
part of their thing. They were looking at stuff. So once this is done, we're gonna move down and just start to check the other ones. All right.
So they'll replace that pipe?
Yeah, what the plant they're thinking of doing is replacing this basin and this pipe, upgrading the pipe, because the pipe may have surged. And when it did that, it just blew out the joints. And then that's what made the slope wash out. So they're looking to maybe upgrade this pipe. I think it's at 18 now. They're looking at maybe going to a 24.
Okay.
Take this, and what you can see is that pipe is hanging up here.
Yeah.
So that was part of the problem. It came out the end wall, and then it went down this really steep slope, which is probably a 1.5 to 1.
Yeah.
So that erosion just blew the whole thing out. So the thought is to put a large catch basin here, okay, a really deep basin, so the pipe will come in high, and then it'll drop down 4 to 6 feet, and then outlet down here. So you won't have that erosion of the embankment anymore.
Right.
It'll be just the pipe will outlet right at the toe of the slope, and it'll just go down the street or go down the stream.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
no problem. That was under my planner's report, first one. The other item I had on the planner's report is kind of comes in with this and comes in with a lot of these other little items. There's been some discussion. Some other towns with working on the public works listserv. There's other towns in the region that have a general permit with their wetlands commission. So for the highway department. So I felt like maybe it's something that we could discuss. It would probably what it would do is they wouldn't have to come in for permits for every little crossing. It could be a permit for 1 year, for 2 years, however the commission would like to do it. But we could relegate it to just certain things like, working on outlets and inlets at storm pipes only, replacing a cross culvert, working with town staff. And then if you want, I can come in and every time we do one, just bring it up under a planner's report that this was under the general permit. I haven't got too deep into this yet, but I wanted to just see if if this is something that the commission was in favor of, because the highways out there, they're cleaning, doing stuff, and they find these things and they'd like to do it while they're out there, but unfortunately they have to come in for a permit, so it holds them up. They got to wait till this goes through, and then they get the work done. So they were hoping to maybe try to work it this way and see if the commission was amicable to something like this.
I'll just say that for Connecticut DOT, our bridge maintenance crew or bridge maintenance office gets a standing permit. I don't know if it's every year or a longer period than that from DEP for work on, that when there's a problem like undermining abutments or something like that, so that they don't have to go to DEP or DEP to get a permit every time. So it only applies to DOT staff and DOT maintenance work. If for larger projects that are done with a contractor and part of a design, they still have to go through the permit. But when you have more smaller jobs like undermining and things where they'll go in and pin some bagged concrete or something, anything that's undermined, then this standing permit for DOT maintenance I guess covers them. So I've heard of it, in that situation. So I think that, if you want to come up with some recommendations for the type of work and the kinds of things that it would cover, I think the commission would be open to listening to it. But I'll open it up to anybody who has any comments.
Yeah, I like the idea of a general permit or a unilateral permit, and we could set the framework that it's for routine maintenance, it's for, regulated activity less than a certain square footage. So I think it would be pretty easy by what are the routine.
Okay.
Lost them again.
Anybody else? All right. So I
think if, I hate to see too much authority. So whatever we do, because ultimately it could come back and bite us, right?
Right.
As a commission, and I want to protect ourselves in that as much as we can. So if we can do something that's very limited in scope, I'd be interested in seeing what types of things it allows them to do and what types of things they'd have to come to us. But I don't think it's something I'd be willing to enter into without a lot of thought about, ramifications down the road. I like the idea of maybe a 1 year renewable too, so that we get a chance to redo this. So.
Sure, I agree. It's not something that it's gonna have to be going on indefinite. So we can start with a year. If it works out, we can do the next one for 2 years. And I told them the same thing. I said, look, it's got to be something that I feel comfortable as staff allowing you guys to do. And the other thing is I have to report to you guys on these things. So I said, I definitely don't want to ruin any kind of uh relationship I have with you guys by letting them do something and you guys go, whoa, that's something that we should have seen. So I kind of keep it to similar minor maintenance, and I can just present them under the planner's report each time. And if we feel it's going in the right direction, we could tweak it next time or however we want to do it.
Yeah, I think it should be stipulated that you still have to, report to the commission on work that's been done so that, we can chime up if we think that, wow, that was a lot of work, that was a little more than we anticipated for, a standing permit. So I would want to see that included, that we still continue to get reports on any work that the town does. So we can make an evaluation that, this hasn't gone too far.
Yeah, because there's a public perception, right? And if people start seeing trucks and people working in a wetlands, they're going to look to us to justify that. So
Yeah.
we got to protect ourselves, or we lose all credibility.
Hypothetically, I know we're talking about like a year period, possibly, that we would be voting to maybe allow them certain delineations to do maintenance work or whatever the case may be. Could there be for the first time, I guess, like a shorter test period, like 6 months? That way we can see what kind of work is kind of coming through, if we're continuing to be happy with it, and then we can like bump it up to a year, just so that we kind of know what the cadence is, like halfway through a year or something like that.
Well, one thing, we can look back at what types of things they've come to us for, right, over the last year, 2 years. I do remember a few instances where Dylan came in and, we're proposing some maintenance type items. And then you get the big things like the bankment going down the hill. So, we could look at what types of things they've asked for permission to do in the past.
Yeah, I guess I would be kind of like, do we want this for maybe not total emergencies, but something unexpected comes up and we want to give them the ability to address things more quickly, as opposed to, I think it was near Mountain Road where the landowner was complaining about not enough flow was going out of his, I don't remember exactly. So they came forward with a permit to us. Now that, I think, if you're making some changes, like I think they upsized the pipe on that, or things like, something that's more planned out. I think that that should still be a permit. But when something like this happens, you've got to act fast. And I know they should still be getting a permit or an application in, and I think that maybe this would be a, kind of a way to cover ourselves, or cover that case where, quick action is required, and it gives them the ability to do that, as opposed to something that's being planned out, and improvements, or we're going to make changes for improvements and things like that. Any other questions? Okay, Bruce, so why don't you, do your homework and see if you want to come up with a proposal, and we'll tweak it and give it some thought.
Okay, I'll talk to Highway. I'll make sure we're on the same page with them and on what their average disturbance is, and we'll kind of work from them. Thank
Okay.
you. And the last thing on my planners report is I sent out that email last meeting for any of the volunteers for the Lower Farmington River Salmon Brook Wildlife Scenic Committee. Oh, that's under the conservation. I apologize. We could talk about that then. But yeah, I had
Okay.
all on one planners report, but yeah, that's conservation. All right, so
Okay.
all set. I'm done
All right.
for now.
Move on to the minutes of February 21st. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So move, Mark.
Okay, a second.
Second, Biasman.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of February 21st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
This Rich abstain.
Okay. Motion passes. So we will adjourn the the Inland Wetlands Commission at 7:06 I have.
806.
8:06.
806. Yep.
I wish we could do it in 7:06. 8:06. And we'll call the Conservation Commission to order at 8:06. Is there any new business?
Nope.
Nope. All right, planners report.
Planners report back to, I was just started talking about, but those are the roles I had sent you for volunteers for the Lower Farmington River Salmon Brook Scenic Wildlife Management Committee. So if anyone on the committee would like to entertain this and be a member, please let us know. They're looking for two. There is no Farmington rep at this point. So we've got our feelers out in other spots as well. So, but thought it was the right position to have maybe someone from this committee on that committee. So,
You know how often they meet?
yeah, it's in here. They meet where was it? No, participating decisions, actively functioning one towns. Hey, where is it here? Attend monthly committee meetings or coordinate with alternate members so that each town has at least one rep. So again, if we get two reps, you don't have to be there at every meeting, but you guys can work together to one go to one and one not go to the other. So there's also sub committees on stewardship, grants, education, report to one's town on committee activities annually. So it's not that much. I mean, when I was working with Bob Hannon on this, they didn't meet that much. He did get involved with the town project with when we lost that embankment along the river trail. He was pretty much helping them and working with them on a solution through this committee. So they were out there, they walked it, and they were going over their different things. So you do get involved in some of those projects like that. And again, it's just going to be Farmington projects. So I don't see a lot of time being spent on this. So, but I think it would be good to have someone from the town on the committee. That way we have a stake in what happens and things that go on through this organization. So like I said, we're working on some other features to see if we can maybe have other people attend it as well. So we'll get back to you on that. We're checking with the town manager and the Farmington River Watershed on that.
Okay, I'll give it some thought and we'll ask the commission members to give us some thought. I know we all have a lot of time constraints, but just I'll ask you to give us some thought. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all I had.
All right. Chair, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 21st.
So move, Mark.
And a second.
Dave will second.
Very good. Motion was made and second to approve the minutes of February 21st. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Rich will abstain.
Okay. Motion passes. All right. I think we're done, right?
That's it.
I'd just like to say welcome to Andre again, Simons, and thank you for joining and stepping up and helping, the Inland Wetlands Commission. We welcome you.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
All right. If there's nothing else, we'll adjourn.
Okay.
Thank you. Everyone have a
Nice
good
job
night.
to meet